by sharing so deeply like we're hearing tonight, we give each other permission to share, whether it's our anxiety or fears or whatever it is. So thank you for being so there for us with your stories tonight. And with no further ado, our dear Sunshine.
Ampy, thanks for the privilege to be here. And thank you, Austin, for your presence. In honor of Dia de los Muertos, I dedicate tonight's story to all who have gracefully met oppression in all of its forms. When I came out as a medium at the living room a year and a half ago, I was still working through a 2-year crisis. One that, in hindsight, would be considered an extreme spiritual emergency by any account. Today, after tons of education and integration, I proudly identify as a clairaudient, spiritual medium, voice hearer, and mental health advocate. Since the beginning of coming into mediumship 3.5 years ago, I've been well aware of the cultural stigma against voice hearers. But I wasn't aware of the theological preferences in myself and in those around me that caused me so much agony. Tonight, the humanist in me longs to speak of tolerance. So please give me grace as I attempt to dissect this other layer of cultural predilection, one that justifiably psychedelic communities may feel protective of, yet is vital for therapists, theologians, and mental health allies to recognize and regard. As a teaser, this phenomena could be called God's shadow as a cosmic mirror. But let's start from the beginning, shall we? I call the presence that communicates with me spirit. After decades as a scientific materialist, I see spirit as the unified field of intelligence, or what some might call God, Source, or the universe. For my non-theist friends, it may be helpful to replace the word life or spirit in tonight's story. Spirit and I connect in several ways, passively through almost nightly teaching dreams and in meditation. In these, I receive spoken word and packages of information that I unwrap like a box. But instead of socks from Aunt Noreen, it's existential truths and tips on my cat's digestive health. No joke. My richest dialogues with spirit have traditionally been facilitated by a small dose of cannabis, although it's very hard on my body. Psychedelics take offline regions of the brain that generate doubt, acting as a beautiful bridge between the material and ethereal dimensions. Using this bridge, I connect for 2 main purposes. First, in 3 to 4 hour channel conversations with spirit, which I write down. I have over 30 conversations logged from the past 3.5 years. In these dialogues, Spirit's teachings fall into 4 categories: meditation techniques, personal teachings, which always include ethics, interpersonal teachings, and existential teachings. If you'd like to hear more of what I hear, my YouTube channel is sunshine_grace. The second way I connect through plant medicine is newer. In February, I was astonished to discover I'd been given the gift of connecting to departed loved ones. My greatest prayer has always been to help others, so you can imagine how wonderful it is to help people feel their beloveds. Channeling is a bit like playing traffic cop at rush hour while simultaneously doing ASL interpretation, which is great because I've always wanted to be bilingual. Alongside channeling spirit and connecting people to their loved ones, I've grown passionate about allyship. For me, this means helping destigmatizing voice hearing through public speaking and filmmaking, affirming that it's possible to heal all of our trauma in this lifetime. Honoring psychic gifts as prevalent natural human sensitivities. Promoting religious tolerance and open-mindedness. And advocating for the responsible use of psychedelics as a valid path to awakening, no less dignified than Zen Buddhism or Christian mysticism. Now that you know a little about my work, I'd like to expand our lens. There are several currents of spirituality in the West today, but the most common is what used to be called New Age, now simply spiritual. Emerging in the 70s and 80s, this popular expression of spirituality was inspired by Europe's New Thought movement. When I think New Age, I think healing stones, angels, channeled messages, tarot cards, and past lives. During the New Age movement, U.S. authors like Louise Hay and Deepak Chopra helped the West re-envision God. Whereas Western mainstream culture had cast God as a fire and brimstone judge, New Agers reimagined the divine as an infinite, benevolent energy of love and light. Today, this framework works beautifully for many. But then, in the early 2000s, thanks to beat poets, anthropologists, and the Santo Daime Church, ayahuasca and its cactus cousins surged into international awareness. This became the next wave of the psychedelic renaissance. Scores of Anglo seekers, yogis, and software developers sitting shoulder to shoulder with indigenous people in ceremony around the globe, spawning a movement of its own, contemporary psychedelic spirituality. And this, my friends, was revelatory. But it also presented some very interesting challenges. One of those challenges is that in indigenous communities, teacher plants are seen as spiritual allies that heal through light and darkness. And for me, this is the rub, because spirit has always presented as a disruptor and a trickster to me, creating mocking illusions and countless painful scenarios. And if your awakening is extreme like mine was, voice hearing, relentless tests, and trickster energy, then not having a framework for the divine that holds both truth and trickery can cause ontological shock and quickly become a matter of life and death. Seeing life as both light and dark may seem obvious to some, but when we reframe this as the divine, things become more interesting. So pardon this late bloomer who snored her way through history class, while I quickly recap Western Philosophy 101. Zoroastrianism, which took root in Persia in 1000 BCE, is the clearest early example of a religion based in moral dualism. Moral dualism says that there are two polarizing forces in the world, God and the devil. Furthermore, God is only good, or light, order, and truth. And the devil is only bad, darkness, chaos, and deceit. Moral dualism runs as deeply as any Western current. It influenced Greek philosophy, Christian theology, and you might have guessed it, New Age spirituality. I'm no theologian, but from what I've gathered, both Judaism and Islam view the divine as less dualistic and more nuanced. In these traditions, shadows exist within God's oneness, even the fierce ones. Don't worry, if this is your first time hearing this and you feel naive, you're not alone. While I'm genuinely happy for anyone who experiences the divine as Mozart's Ave Verum Corpus, for those of us whose understanding of the universe is informed by plant medicine, we may need an alternative framework. For me, this is moral pluralism. Moral pluralism, in contrast to moral dualism, says that God holds both light and shadow, security and chaos, flow state and stuckness, all woven into one unity. It may bring comfort to understand that in morally pluralistic societies, the divine's trickster energy isn't pointlessly cruel. In Mesoamerica, Quetzalcoatl steals bones from the underworld and breathes life back into them. In Hindu cosmology, goddess Kali is the underworld force herself. She embodies destruction of illusion so that renewal can happen. In Tibetan cosmology, wrathful deities like Yama strip away delusion and reveal the mind's true nature, turning even terror into a path of liberation. And in Greek mythology, goddess Persephone embodies the rhythmic cycle of light and dark. With skillful intention, she descends into darkness and emerges with gifts. These archetypes remind me that life's shadow can be a teacher. First, unpredictability mirrors nature. Life doesn't always give us what we want. Challenging times also invite reflection to be honest with ourselves and take a look at what we need to change. If we have the courage to look within, we become discerning, resilient, and sincere. So life's shadow is an ongoing reminder of both the fragility of life and an invitation to cultivate awareness and skillful means. So in the spirit of life's transforming great mystery, let's lift the veil a bit. Marigolds, rosaries, and all. Because what most people really want to know, including me, is this. What does it feel like when messages from the other side illuminate truth so brightly it's undeniable? So, without further ado, here are 4 precious insights I've received from Spirit. Spirit on how Spirit sees us. Sunshine, would you like to know how it is that I can always see people through the eyes of compassion? Get to know the mind of God, I thought. Who would say no? Spirit continued. When a soul makes the choice to come down and pretend that it's an ego, it knows that it will be painful. Because humans and human-like people constantly have to make a decision between loving themselves or loving and caring for others. This ongoing paradox forces the soul to choose between self or others. This is a tricky place to be, this paradox. And that's how a soul gets brighter, or matures, or becomes more refined. And there really is no limit to how big a soul can grow. At some point, it's just me, capital M. But they're still seen as individual souls who were autonomous and chose to support love on a universal level. Spirit on participatory moral causality. If the universe could ever be called judgmental, it is only in the karmic sense, not in the conventional sense. The universe is always perfectly in balance. We are presented a situation, and based on what we do in that situation, determines the next situation. In this sense, we are living at the soul level, because we are not judged by our actions, but we are positioned in the universe exactly where we got ourselves. This isn't to say that there is hell. You know, sunshine, that does not exist. But there is a purgatory in the sense that if we cause others harm, we feel harmed. Same. Spirit on the soul's moral arc. Many of us younger souls start off hurting others. But the older we get as a soul, we hurt ourselves first. We take the hit, or rather, our bodies do. This goes on for a while, usually many lifetimes, before we realize that hurting ourselves is just as wrong or as painful as hurting someone else. And lastly, spirit on the karma-trauma analogy. This one's my favorite. The word karma in the East is very similar to the West's use of the word trauma. So when we enlighten ourselves, it's an undoing of all of our choices in all of our past lives that were outside of the lane or outside of the acceptable boundaries of self or other love. And it's these choices that we undo that gives way to truth, capital T. Ideally, culture helps us orient to life, creates shared symbols and values that offer safety, identity, and belonging, encourages ethics, and is a container for the expression of creativity, beauty, and wisdom. But we forget that culture ultimately is just a bunch of people agreeing that something is true, not truth itself. And cultural preferences can be so ingrained that we aren't even able to identify them. From my own experience, spirit is classically morally pluralistic. And being a medium who's sensitive and lucky enough to hear the voice of the timeless universe through precision that only language can offer is a blessing and a curse. In Spirit's own words, I am double mirroring you, sunshine. For me, this means that I get to interact with life's front-end user interface, but also through mediumship, peer into the back-end program of the universe's cryptic code. And every time I probe Spirit's sick, twisted jokes, they morph into shimmery strands of gossamer, glistening like a million infinitesimal diamonds. In these chains of crushed jewels, they return echoes of buried remembrances of my right, of everyone's right, to embody self-respect and compassion. Within each tiny mirror is the key to my power, to hold firm boundaries and unclouded, loving, discerned presence. It's taken me a long time to deconstruct the conflict between how I was taught to think of spirit in the West and my lived experiences. And honestly, my fear of speaking out about this has been a heavy weight to carry. My own therapist, who's a Zen Buddhist, still can't decide if I'm brilliant or disassociated. But that's kind of my whole point. The Day of the Dead reminds me how essential it is to preserve safe spaces for exchanging ideas about religion and philosophy. If there are two things I've learned in the past 3 years, it's these. First, I should honor my truth, even and perhaps especially when it pushes against cultural norms. And second, it really is true that through mindfulness practices and a relentless dedication to love and truth, we really can liberate ourselves and right the wrongs of our past through humility, forgiveness, and compassion. We can do this individually, and we can do it collectively. So whether you identify as the Persian, Greek, or Mexican hero in the hero's journey, or are committed to healing intergenerational trauma, when we intentionally go to the underworld to find answers, life itself begins to open in ways we couldn't even imagine. Thank you so much, everyone.
When you wanna close your eyes, it will meet you deep inside. Light your candle, call its name. It will be there in the flame. Spirit will hear your heart. Spirit will feel and see. Spirit will hear you sing. Ooh, Spirit is listening. When you will it to be true, it will take good care of you. Sing your song and dream your dream. It will be there in the stream. Spirit will hear your heart. Spirit will feel and see. Spirit will hear you sing. Ooh, Spirit is listening.